parents should not be doing this. I just want to transform their struggles into solutions. There are no perfect parents.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Conscious Leaders Podcast, where I introduce to you leaders who are consciously leading. I'm Delisa Abraham, Faith and Sparkles World. If you're new to the channel, welcome. And if you like this episode, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. So today I have a very special guest with me. Her name is Faqueeha Mansoor, and she is a parenting coach. She's been in education for a few years, but instead of me getting into all of her details, I want Faqueeha to introduce herself, tell us who she is, who she serves, and how she's impacting not only her own generation, but future generations. So welcome, Faqueeha.
Hi, Delisa. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Faqueeha Mansoor, and I did my Bachelor of Education from University of Alberta. And I've been teaching kids, teenagers, adults, like for a lot of years. And now I'm a parent coach, and I'm still a teacher, although I'm not teaching right now at the moment because I'm a mom of two. But I'm a parent coach, and then I'm focusing more on spreading the awareness of positive parenting among a lot of parents these days. So yeah, that's about me.
That's a huge shift from, and you're also in the same field in terms of like education, and you're still in education, but now you're shifting it not only in terms of school, as we associate education with in this building, but now also education in the home. And this is what has attracted and magnetized me specifically to your feed, to your social media channel, and sharing my, like, commenting and liking, because I actually enjoy what you are sharing. I have the same or similar message because I have a child myself. So thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome. And I'm so glad because I want to spread the awareness of especially emotional regulation for parents and for children. And it's lacking a lot. It's been lacking a lot in past. And then now the message is getting across, and then I want to be a part of it. So parents can empower themselves. And then once they learn how to empower themselves, they'll be able to learn how to empower their own kids. So this is what my mission is.
Absolutely. And the best part is you're doing this, one, from your past experience being a child and growing up, right? And having your own children, as well as being an educator in the school system and seeing all of the things that children are coming with. And also when you're having interviews with parents, sometimes they're coming from broken homes and or traumatic situations, et cetera, et cetera. The teacher is there, and most of the time you guys are supporting and helping to heal a
Yeah.
child in like 8 or 9 months out of a year.
Yeah. And, like you said, from our past experience, right? Most of us were raised by traditional methods of parenting where our parents weren't aware about positive parenting or age appropriate expectations. So, this is what I want to make today's parents aware of, that there are some age appropriate expectations like tantrums, meltdowns, that this is not disrespect, right? It's a part of kids growing up. So this is what I want to focus on. And parents need to learn how to regulate their own big feelings. This is another part, because if they don't know how to regulate their own feelings, then they're going to go back to traditional methods, because all the anger, guilt, shame, it's going to show up in their parenting as well, right? So I want to be a supportive leader, not like a judgmental one. My social media is all about support. I just want to transform their struggles into solutions.
And that's what's needed right now. There's so much stress. Um,
Yeah,
yes, we've come a long way in terms
yeah,
of growth, but at the same time, people are burnt out, stressed out, and burdened by so many things. Yet they're surrounded by all of these luxuries. But the basic essentials of allowing a child to be a child and recognizing this is a child, not a mini adult that that needs to have all A's from like 4 years old all the way until they go into the this corporate world or any or in the government, right? Because that was that old way of thinking, right? That institutionalized way. And a lot of parents are waking up to it, but they don't know how to do that shift. My
yeah,
question to you is, why did you decide to take on this, huge, I don't even know what you would call it, but why did you decide to take on this huge endeavor to support
yeah.
parents?
Thank you so much. This is such a great question, actually. The reason why I decided it when I became a mom, I I had no idea where to begin because parenting doesn't come with a manual, right? But I just wanted to be the best parent and the perfect one, for my kids, which is not possible because we're all human beings. We can be better day by day. There are no perfect parents, right? And we can be a better one. We can do progress, not perfection. This is what I also teach to parents because I just don't want to burden them with all the guilt and everything. But when I was looking through social media and a lot of other accounts, what I encountered is that moms should not be doing this. Parents should not be doing this. This is how it happens, blah, blah, blah. Moms are so alone. There was no solution anywhere. There was only, okay, this is a problem. This is a problem. Okay, yes, but now what do we do, right? So I did not find a solution, and I was like, okay, this is a problem, this is a problem, but where's my solution? Where do I go,
Hmm.
right? So that's why I decided to um, make a social media, educate myself, I read a lot of parenting books and from my own education background because I also studied child psychology, adolescent psychology, and everything. And plus reading a lot of books on parenting and got my certification in positive discipline. I made a social media account because I wanted teach parents how to solve these struggles, how to come up with solutions so that they can model this and then they can also teach their children how to deal with situations in life, right? Because it's not about only complaining or yes, it's awareness is the first step, but how do we solve it? This is the real skill that we need as parents and kids.
A hundred
So
percent.
that's why,
Yeah,
yeah,
and that's a really nice way of explaining and sharing really, why. And I want to highlight that you didn't grow up in a Western culture with a Western mindset because generally you would see more of the Western world. They have this like new like gentle parenting, all these different styles of parenting. However, on the other side of the world, they're not there yet, right? Discipline
no, yeah.
is discipline. Like you need to do as you're told, go to school, get an education, which, I'm 100% all for education and 100% for discipline. Um, they're, it's very, it's the old ways, and children read faster earlier, but children are under a lot of immense pressures
So I
to,
wanna,
be
sorry,
successful. No, tell me
yeah,
more. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, sorry, yeah, if I cut
No,
you
don't
off.
be sorry. This is good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, it reminds me when I was a child. So I was like really into studies. Like, I was that child who loved studying and all those sort of things, right? And then this is where um because the where I belong to, the country that I belong to, um that country has like a trophy system, and in a lot of South Asian culture we have award system. Okay, the kid who gets the highest mark will get this award, and then first, second, third, all those sort of things. And then it just doesn't make kids feel good about themselves in the intrinsic way. It's not intrinsic motivation, it's more like extrinsic motivation. You know what I mean? And they make themselves, their worth is attached to that award.
Mhm.
There was no awareness of mental health or emotional health when I was a kid, at least not that I was aware of. And it was all academics. Okay, you get 100%. Why didn't you get 100%? Why it's 99 or something like that? Was that, severe? And then talking about discipline. So, discipline not only in South Asian culture. I think what I'm learning right now is here as well. Discipline is like more like being strict with your child. Although discipline means learning, you know,
Mhm.
and it's not like what you think. Okay, you have to be disciplined, you have to be strict with your child with punishments, or you need to prepare them for the real world. This is not how you're going to prepare your child for the real world. If you want to prepare your child for the real world, you have to make them emotionally and mentally stronger.
Yes.
This is how you can prepare them for the real world. You don't have to be one of those people that they have to fight with. You know what I mean? You need to support them. Okay, what's the difference between you as a parent or as a guide and versus other bullies in the world that they have to face?
Yeah.
you know
Hmm.
your kid should know that they can go to you when they encounter all those people out there, and what they should do when they encounter those people. And they're not going to know about it if you're going to punish them, or you're not going to um, make them learn how to regulate those feelings
Hmm.
of anger, sadness, things like that. And then the relationship that you build with your child, it's like a base,
Hmm.
actually. They're going to go out in the world, they're going to choose their friends,
Yeah.
other relationships, based on how their relationship is with you
A
as a
hundred,
parent.
a hundred
This is
percent.
so important. you know so a lot of times, silent treatment. Oh, I'm disciplining my kid. He was disrespectful, or she was disrespectful, so I'm not going to talk to that child. What does that teach? I mean, what is it teaching to your child? Like, not talking to anyone who's being disrespectful. And what is disrespect, actually? Tell me about it. What is disrespect? Tantrum is disrespect. I mean, you need to get down. You need to analyze why the child behaved that way that they did. You know what I mean? We
Hmm.
have like codes. We have all that. What do we call it? What our parents and their parents use the definition of disrespect. Oh, you cannot say no. You have to obey. You have to do
Hmm.
this and
Hmm.
that. What is this? I'm not against the rules or anything, but you need to understand that if a child is saying no to something, why is the child saying that?
Hmm.
We need to respect their no as well, right?
Yes, 100%. And just to
Yeah.
touch on it before I get into my next question, I completely understand because when I was pregnant with my daughter Faith, that's one of the questions I had to ask myself. You know, how was I going to raise her? And there was a lot of work that I did prior to her even coming because
Hmm.
it is so important one as well, specifically the mother who's carrying the child, that level of connection and building
Yeah.
that relationship in the womb, as well as recognizing you're going to give them the space that they're going to need, but at the same time, and you mentioned this, uh, guiding them, nurturing them, supporting them, and, you know, helping them to recognize in terms of discipline, not the authoritarian style and do as I say, not as I do, but discipline in the sense that they're learning about self discipline and they're learning about respect, respecting themselves, respecting others. And it comes down to how I'm speaking to her and how she speaks to me. So there's all of these different dynamics, which essentially, and you pointed it out, comes back to that social emotional training that happens within the first 7 years. Now,
Yeah.
you did a post, I think it was today or
Yeah.
sometime, where you shared,
Today.
yeah, today, yes. So where you shared, and I really like this post, that children do not need to be doing math and English and science and all of these things within the first 7 years. They need to be socially and emotionally supported, regulated, uh, and like they need to understand themselves essentially and learn how to communicate and all of those things because that is the foundation. Why did you do this post?
So, my daughter is also starting kindergarten in September, and there are a lot of parents who I meet every day, and then their definition of success is uh, my child needs to know how to do tracing, they need to know colors, they need to know counting, they need to no ABC. Oh, my child started reading when they were 2. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be doing all these things. If your child is interested, go ahead. I'm not saying that. I'm talking about um, parents who are doing it purposely. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they think that this is success. Oh, my child needs to be ahead of everyone else in the school. Things like that. So the post that I made is because I actually created a guide for parents and for children so that they can educate themselves. There are some tools on emotional regulation, social skills that they can teach their kids and themselves how to deal with those feelings because it's not only for the child, it's for parents as well. They're sending their kid for the first time, even if it's the second kid, that kid for the first time, and they don't even know how to deal with all of that, right?
Yes.
So, math, English, science, geography, it's all good. I mean, if they're interested in that, go ahead. But along with that, they need to have those emotional skills because when they're going to leave your child in school and they don't know what to do without you, like, and when they're crying, when they're having those feelings, you're not there with them. So if they weren't taught how to deal with those feelings, what would happen,
Mm-hmm.
right?
100%.
And yeah,
Yeah.
so that's the reason why I made that post, because this is extremely important, because when we are adults, we lack these things a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and it shows up in our different relationships, even, not what our parents modeled, we learn from that,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then when we become adults, we realize the mistakes that happen, and then now we change ourselves, and then it's showing up, and then we model that behavior for our kids. Now when they're going to grow up, they're going to show up in other relationships like that. So that's the main purpose of the whole thing that I do, and the guide that I made is specifically for parents whose kids are going to school this
Yes.
year or any year. I mean, they can just go ahead and then get that guide and then learn from there.
It's very interesting to me that you grew up in South Pacific Asia with I would call it like an award system, the award system, right? I don't know what they call it, um, or like a point system, and you were top of your class up until like university, right? Because you ended up studying psychology and all of these things, and you got into education. And congratulations to you in terms of going all the way and really fulfilling your dream. This was your passion, right? To be in education. And I know it's not an easy feat. Learning came very easy for you and you were interested in it. And then now you're shifting and you're saying, okay, yes, this can still be achieved, but perhaps the approach can be different so that all children can be valued, all children can be enriched, all children can feel empowered and encouraged, regardless of where they may be in on the academic spectrum or system, because not everyone is going to be excellent in math. Um, there will be those who are good at math, but they're just better with using their hands, right? For example, like people with plumbing, they still have to know math. They still have to understand the systems, and it's very complicated. And I'm just using plumbing as an example, but it's an excellent job, and they have to understand essentially a little bit of engineering to be able to do that, but is not seen as worthy as someone who is doing like mechanical engineering or an
Yeah.
astronaut or an accountant, right? It's but you're saying no, all is good. let's just
Yeah.
let's just
And
get their passion.
yeah, and I studied back home until I came here in high school actually.
Okay.
So yeah, I came here in high school, then I did my university here. So I came here when I was a teenager, but I spent some time, of course, in South Asia, and um you can only have you can either be doctor, engineer, or lawyer.
Yeah.
That's it. You know,
Yeah.
these are the yeah, even like in I'm not sure about the system there right now, but
Mhm.
when I was there, it was you go in grade 9 and you just choose if you whether want to choose medical or computer science. These are the two things that the options are very limited there
Yeah.
actually. So this is what I'm saying, and like the academic options are so limited, and then we're talking about mental and emotional health. Yeah, it's the awareness of this topic is very low there. So that's another reason why I wanna work on this. And then I did some YouTubing and some reels in Urdu, in the language, the other language that we speak, and I tried to bring awareness of this topic there because uh like how I am upbringing my child, it's
Okay.
like so weird, like it's strange to them
No, I
because
can
they're like,
imagine 100% because that's the same thing with me and how I raise my daughter and how my family views
yeah,
them. And I want to point out too, you're you're a wife and a mother, and your husband is from the same culture as you, and so and he's very supportive based
yeah,
on
yeah,
what
yeah,
you
yeah,
said and everything. He's very supportive in terms of what you're doing and you showing
yeah,
up for every day for not only your children, but to make sure that other children are feeling empowered and encouraged, which is wonderful. So it's not that you're this single mother and you had all like it's you have a good support system, and that is I applaud your husband for supporting you. I'm not saying
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
he's a
always
hundred
in
percent.
parenting. He's been a great dad, and then in parenting he understands what I'm talking about
Oh
and
yeah.
everything.
Well,
Yeah.
because same
So
culture, right? And
yeah,
he been
but
through that.
even though I want to highlight, even though we're from the same culture, not a lot of um like husbands
Yes,
or dads, they not all of them understand this actually. They
I
think that, oh
understand. Mhm,
yeah, oh, we're doing gentle parenting, our kids will be spoiled. It's not their fault. They're not aware of it.
mhm.
The reason why is because parents who are following gentle parenting and positive parenting, they're going more towards permissive parenting.
Permissive.
Actually, they're not following actual gentle or positive parenting, because uh, they were punished, they were yelled at. Now they're going in the other extreme and they think that, okay, I just don't want to do anything like I just don't want to. They're hesitant of even drawing a boundary. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
I
They're
do
not.
know what you mean. Yes. And then you
Yeah.
see
So,
children like in the stores or on the street, like kicking cars or screaming, and you're
yeah.
like, teach
Yeah.
your kids some
Yeah.
discipline. Like this is
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
their
It's
property.
not
Why are they doing that? Um,
exactly.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
So,
So
and I really like that you cleared that up a lot. You showed that difference between the gentle parenting and permissive parenting, because most people put the two together,
yeah.
and it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And another thing is why, because when I became a mom, like that COVID area,
Yes.
we saw a lot of parenting influencers and coaches and everything. They did a good job in spreading that awareness. Oh, we should not be doing this, we should not be doing that. And then that created a lot of guilt in parents because
Mm,
there was no solution. So now, because they saw all of these things, they think, oh, we're doing this wrong, that wrong. So even like drawing a boundary, is their mind is like, oh, is it something wrong, like are we not being kind to our children,
mhm.
things like that.
Yeah.
So if they're respectful while drawing a boundary and the boundary is reasonable, it's yes, boundaries keep children safe. How are they going to learn if they don't have any boundary? You know
They
what
need
I
to have
mean?
boundaries. That's right.
Yeah.
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 All right. Well, I enjoyed our conversation a lot. There was so much that came out, and I'm really excited for your. Is it an ebook or just like an e-guide?
Oh, it's just a digital guide.
A digital guide.
It's
Yes.
in, yeah, it's in, the link is in the bio of in my Instagram, and they can comment on some reels, and then I'll DM the link to them, and it has a lot of topics that
Mhm.
I talked about, and then what they can do in terms of what independence skills they can teach their children
Yes.
before going to school, so that they'll have an easy start there, and lots of different things.
Yes. Of
So
course.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
your handle, correct? Correct me. It's at empowering parent 101.
it's empowered parenting 101.
Empowered
Yeah.
parent Empowered Parent 101 on
Empowered
Instagram.
parenting.
Parenting
Empowered parenting. Yeah,
on
101.
Empowered
Yeah.
Parenting 101 on Instagram.
Yeah.
Don't worry, it's going to be in the caption so you can
Yeah.
click and follow along with Lakeisha.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining today. Now, before we go, I have a question for you. What are your thoughts on being a conscious leader as an educational slash parenting coach?
So, my belief about being a conscious leader is a leader who knows what they're doing, what their mission is, who they serve. So and what impact do they have on people they serve. So for example, me, I'm a conscious leader because I want to bring the awareness of mental and emotional health to parents and children, and my mission is to help them feel empowered, okay, that they're in charge of their emotions and not letting them their emotions control them,
Mhm.
and then teach the same thing to their children.
Incredible. Thank you so very much for joining me today, for sharing your insights, um, as well as providing so much value. You provided so much value um, for the parents who are going to be watching this, particularly the mothers who would
Yeah.
be online. They need to understand and feel strong
Yeah.
and supported, especially during a time where women are working outside
Mm-hmm.
the home. They're working in the home. They still need to take care of themselves. And there's all of these things that as women we have, it's a lot for us to
It
carry.
is a lot. Yeah.
It is a
Yeah, it is
lot.
a lot.
Yeah. So to be part of a supportive community where solutions are being given, right?
Yeah.
Not just the problem. Now there's solutions provided. That is like alleviates a lot of tension, stress, burden, um, so that they can leave each and every day renewed, revitalized. So thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Thanks a lot. And parents can contact me on Instagram, and they can send me an email at empower.parenting101 at gmail.com. But the most like the platform that I use is Instagram. So
Yes.
if they message me on Instagram, I'll be there. So yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for joining this episode of the Conscious Leader podcast with my guest, Faqueeha, the education and parenting coach for this generation. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel and click that notification bell so you will know when another episode comes live. Have an incredible day. See you on the next episode.